So, welcome back. It's time for a tiny teaser. And yes, I'm still working on that thing here, and it still will take some time. But yeah, let me show you what I have for this video here, right? It's all about cavity map baking. Cavity. If you don't know what a cavity map is, right? Basically, it represents all the cracks and crevices from a mesh into a black and white map, black and white and grayish map, something like that, right? And yeah, you can do that in Blender with cycles and with the, how's it called, dirty vertex color script, but this script is slower. Cycles is quite hard to use for that. So let me show you how to bake it with my baker. And I think it looks quite good and it's very easy to use, right? There's just one setting you can change at the moment. Okay, this here is just a piece from this mesh here because of performance, right, for the video. But in the end, I'm going to show you how to bake a 25 million mesh, right? It's definitely possible. So this one has 6 subdiv levels, so it's quite dense for this little piece here. And as you can see, there are a lot of bumps. Those are actually bumps, right? This here looks actually like elephant skin. Anyway, what would you expect from a cavity map? I would expect a lot of white and black spots, actually. So let's see how it will look like, right? Here are the settings, right? Let me quickly explain those settings. Margin should be clear. It's just the overpaint for the map. Max subdivision is set to 16, and in the final version it will be set to 16. That basically means use the highest subdiv level. If you would set this to 2, then it would only use the second subdiv level, right? So let's set this back to 16. Create mesh. We don't need a new mesh at the moment. This here is for the automatic mode, right? We're going to use the automatic mode because it's awesome. It's set to true, right? Imagine this true and false thing here just as checkboxes, right? Whereas a checkbox like this here, false or true. UV subdivision is not really important right now, but it will basically create larger UV tiles if you don't have enough subdivision levels, okay? And auto split size, this is, basically you don't specify a size for the automatic mode. You just set a limit and it won't go over 2048, and if it needs more resolution than 2048 for this example, then it will create a new UDIM tile or 2, 3, 4, 5 UDIM tiles, whatever it needs, right? So you could say 1000 or 1K map is enough. I don't want to deal with 2K maps or 8K maps, 4K maps, right? Maybe you like 4K maps. I don't really like 4K maps because they are slow. If you load them into Blender, right, they will go into the memory, and that's slows them down, right? It slows Blender down if you load a lot of them, and 2K maps are very quick actually. So the rest is not important here. This here, those are the cavity map settings, right? On or off, basically cavity true or false. And 3 channel or 1 channel, right? You can decide what you want. And then there's the one setting that's called smoothness. And I think there's a good word for that. Basically, it means how smooth the cavity map will be, and there's a value range between 0 and 1, right? 0 smoothness means sharp, and 1 smoothness means basically really smooth. All right, and you just enter in the value from a slider. Default is 0.05. All right, let's bake it. You need a multi-race mesh, right? For the automatic mode, you need a quad multi-race mesh. That is a quad mesh, right? As you can see here, this one has no UV maps assigned. It will be created on the fly, right? Also the map size and so on. It will create also the map, right? It will save the map and so on. Let's just bake it, right? You don't have to set something here. Imagine the run script button as a bake button, right? So let's just run this, and you can see here the terminal. You can see the details. Let's just run this, and it first will unwrap the mesh extremely fast, and it will show you, okay, it's done. It will show the object name, faces, right, from the base mesh, UDIM tiles, in this case 1, and the map size 1944, so it's smaller than the limit. Coverage, right, subdivisions, and so on, margin. Then it will subdivide the mesh, calculate the cavity values, then it will paint those values to the map, and then the rest is for the overpaint, right, for the seamless overpaint. It will analyze the mesh, average corner pixels, painting the edge pixels, right, and then it will save out the map. 5 seconds, all right. Let's see how it looks like. First of all, in the UV image editor, let's refresh this. It's just one map. This map will get overwritten with every bake, right? So it's easier for me. And that's how it looks like, right? Let's go into edit mode, select this. That's the UV map with the UV layout automatically created. All right, that looks like a cavity map, right? A lot of black and white, so it's pretty sharp, but it's not extremely sharp, as you can see here. A lot of grayish values. What is it actually? 0.3, all right. Okay, let's apply this map. We don't have to apply this. I already set those materials, so let's go into texture. And you can see here's your cavity map, right? Baked with the default setting. So a lot of black and white, and as you can see, there's no seam, right? I mean, every face has a seam around it actually, but there are no seams, right? It's seamless. All right, so let's change the smoothness value to, let's say, 0.2. That means it's more smooth, right? It's not completely smooth, but it's more smooth. Now let's see how it looks like. Pressure run script or bake. And it will subdivide the mesh. So done. And then let's refresh this image. And as you can see, now it's more smooth. There are just a few black spots and more medium grayish spots, right? It depends what you want. And again, no seams, right? And if you set it to like 1, okay, 1 is ridiculous. This is just gray. Let's try 0.5. Let's bake this again. All right, the slowest step is always the subdividing stuff here, right? Let's refresh this one. And as you can see, it gets smoother and smoother. All right, that's for this mesh. Oh, let's do one more thing here, right? To show scope mode. Why is it so slow? 1 second. Fast navigate is on, but it's not working. Oh, now it's working. Okay, let's just add a few strips of clay here, right? And go back and let's bake it and then see what it comes up with. All right. I think it was because of the texture mode. Anyway, I have to refresh the map, and there is the cavity stuff for the new details, right? Okay, I have more meshes. This one here is just an arbitrary test mesh to see how it behaves with flat areas and non-flat areas, basically. Right, this here is pretty flat. It was just a cube, right, subdivided, and there are more areas that are not flat, right, this here, and then sticking out stuff, tinier details. Right, this one has 7 subdivs, so let's bake this with the default setting, 0.05. This is quicker, I think. Right, done. Let's reload this and let's see. Right, this is the map for that. Looks quite nice, and as you can see, it's a little grayish. It's not completely white, right? It's just a little gray and black. All right, you can see the clay detailed, basically. What will happen if we bake this with 0.3, for example? All right, let's refresh this. As you can see, this is much smoother. Almost no black, right? Just a little here. Depends what you want. Okay, that's for that mesh. So one more mesh. This one here is for the smoothness, to show the smoothness effect, right? I like those brick styles. This here's a wall or one piece of brick, whatever it is, right? It's from ZBrush, automatically retopolized. This word is quite hard. Anyway, it was done with Z remesher, right? Remeshed, and it has a few details, not many. Just 4 subdiv levels is enough for testing, right? And first of all, let's bake this with the default settings. Let's just run the script. You can see here the times, right? Everything is extremely fast. Map size 1464, and again, there was no UV layout, right? Everything is automatically created. Let's refresh the map, and that's how it looks like. Right? You need a dense mesh to get a good cavity map, right? That's a requirement, but it's not a problem. So this doesn't look that good. The smoother version will look much better. Let's go with 0.1. Oh, okay, let's use 0.17 anyway. Let's bake this. And let's refresh the image, and that looks quite nice actually, right? You can see the white spots on the edges, basically. A little gray here and dark or black in the cracks or crevices, whatever it's called, right? But yeah, you definitely need more resolution. This here is 800,000, so it's not really high, right? But from a distance, it looks quite nice. And if you need a close-up, then just subdivide it more. Let's render this. I applied the material, it's just a simple shader. Let's render this with this. That's how it looks like with the cavity map as color, right? And let's remove that, right? That's how it looks like without the map. And it looks much better with the map, right? Really defined details or defined edges, right? Okay, just use. Let's render this again with 4. Maybe there's a difference. Maybe there's not. Not so much, right? Maybe there's a difference. No. All right. So it's definitely useful to have a smoother map and a sharper map. And I also have a picture here. Right, you can see here the sort of sharp details, medium sharp, medium soft, whatever, or smooth. This here is the smooth version, right? You could also bake out multiple maps and combine them together, right? Let's say this one here, sharp with smooth, right? Here to get those edges, right? And to get more those black details, right? Okay. Let's get to the last one. This is this one here, and this is called M25 for 25 million polygons, right? 6 subdiv levels, the same details as the other head here, right? Just with 1 subdiv more. And yeah, let's do that here. Let's actually clean that, okay? And let's bake it with let's 0.8, 0.08. So auto split size is set to 2048, so 25 million polygons and 2048, right? It definitely needs multiple UDIM tiles, and it will create that. Let me show you here. There's no UV map assigned, right? It will automatically create it. Margin 4 is fine, right? We don't need a mesh for that. Let's bake it. So it will subdivide the mesh. That will take some time. You can see here 8 UDIM tiles, right? Map size is 2016. Coverage of 100%, 6 subdivision levels. Okay, let me pause this. This will take quite some time. So, okay, it's only 30 seconds. That was quite fast actually. Sometimes this is really slow, sometimes it's not really slow. 30 seconds is okay for the 25 million. It's not super fast, but right, and the other test was like 80 seconds. Anyway, it calculated the cavity map, right? This is really fast in half a second. And it painted the cavity map in 0.1 seconds, right? And then the rest is for the border painting, and it created 8 maps, right? Done in 40 seconds. Yeah, I already applied the material. I loaded this stuff here in, right? And here's the render. Okay, let's set this. Of course, the viewport does not support UDIM, so it looks a little strange. But right, it's not a proper UDIM node, right? With the proper UDIM node, you only have to load in 1 map, right? Which is the goal of the UDIM stuff, of course, to split this up or to get more resolution. And let's render the viewport. And as you can see, here is our mesh, right? Seamless. Right, baked from a 25 million mesh in 40 seconds. It's not extremely fast if you compare to ZBrush. It's still super slow because of the subdividing stuff, but the rest is quite fast. All right, let me render this, but only with 5. Right, it's not important. The 6th level was just for demonstrating here. Oh, it's already rendered. Anyway, I'm gonna render this again. Right, okay. Let me pause this. Synchronizing step is extremely slow. There's no displacement mapping involved here. It's just a raw mesh, right? Okay, now that's starting. Anyway, okay. As you can see here, I will render our mesh. Let me pause this. So here's the final render, and as you can see, black and white, right? It's not super sharp, it's not super smooth, it's in between somewhere. It looks quite nice, and as you can see, there are no seams, right? No seams. Seamless map, very nice, and you just have to click one button or maybe change a few settings and in the end you have to just click one button. And it's relatively quick. It's not the fastest, but it's okay, right? It's not like minutes or so. A minute is terrible, but this is okay, right? I mean, it's a 25 million mesh. All right. Yeah. That's it for this video. That's how the material looks like right here, the UDIM workaround. But someday there will be UDIM support, proper UDIM support in cycles. Then you have to only load the first image, connect that, and the rest will be loaded automatically, right? And then this will show the real power, right? Okay, let me just show you the UDIM layout, and then, right, that's how it looks like. 100% covered. All right, let's refresh this image here. That's how the maps look like. All right. Yep. See you in the next video.